You're joking, aren't you? It's the Teesside Chef. The quickest and easiest Balti chicken curry you'll find anywhere, with a very simple yet comprehensive prep and a curry paste you can make in less than a minute. So let's get straight into it by preparing our chicken. And I have 2 breasts, off which I will chop the knobbly gristly bits before cutting into bite-sized pieces. And I always find it less complicated to prep my chicken with scissors, really, because then you don't have to fill your sink with all manner of contaminated kitchen utensils. And you don't have to set up another shot if you're making a YouTube video in cramped conditions. I've seasoned the chicken generously with salt and pepper, and now I'm going to lightly velvet the meat with a tablespoon of cornstarch. Balti's not really a saucy curry, so just 1 tablespoon is enough. I would use more if I was doing a saucy curry, but I don't want to thicken my Balti too much, and I want that chicken to be the right texture quickly, so we're not farting about too much, you know. I've put the chicken to one side, and now I'm going to start to prep my veggies, a medium onion, which I'm going to chop finely. Balti's cooked more like a stir-fry, really, so we need our veggies prepared in advance. Otherwise, we'll be running around like a Jack Russell with a firework up its arse later on when the action starts. This recipe will serve 4 people, and I think 1 finely chopped large fresh chilli is enough. I like spicy curries, but let's not overdo it there. Your bottom will thank me tomorrow, and even though it's up to you really what you do with your curry spice and your bottom, I must insist that you put 1 finely chopped green bell pepper in now. Green pepper is a little more bitter than other colours, but it does give you that authentic Balti flavour. 6 cloves of garlic next, and I'm doing that fancy cutaway thing that all the young TikTokers do just to show that my content is cutting edge. And that's about a heaped tablespoon of minced garlic, and 25 grams of fresh ginger, which will need to be finely grated, and if you just give me a second, it should magically appear. Oh no, that's Ron Atkinson's autobiography. I must have inputted the wrong information into the matrix there. Just give me a sec. There we go, 25 grams of finely grated ginger, and that's all we need really for our fresh veggies. So now we can get on with our curry paste. This could not be simpler, and it's ready in seconds with 3 heaped teaspoons of curry powder, the same 3 heaped teaspoons of coriander powder, and you do want to be generous with your spices, a heaped teaspoon of cumin powder, and a heaped teaspoon of garam masala powder, to which I will add 150 millilitres of cold water, and I'll give that a really good whisk together. And the water will allow us to cook the spices for a bit without burning them when they hit the hot pan a bit later on. But first I shall fry off my prepared chicken breast chunks on a medium-high heat for around 5 or 6 minutes. We don't really need to fully cook the chicken because it will sit in the sauce for a while later where it can finish cooking. But as we've velveted the meat, it's going to be difficult to overcook the chicken, so 5 or 6 minutes is good because we're going to cover it when it's cooked and allow it to rest while we put the Balti curry sauce together in a separate preheated pan, or the one you've just cooked your chicken in if you like. Big knob of butter to start. You can use ghee of course, but I don't have any left right now because I use it as a lubricant for other things. I'm on a medium heat here because I don't want to burn the butter or the onion. I'm salting my onion of course, which you always want to do really. And I'm going to cook these onions now for a couple or 3 minutes until they're translucent, and when they are translucent, that means they're cooked enough and I can raise the heat to high now and add in the rest of my ingredients. Got Big Ron watching me there, former manager of Aston Villa Football Club of course, and that ties in with the Balti really because they both originate in Birmingham. Now I'm not going to say that Aston Villa are Birmingham's best football club because the Zulus will kick my head in, but this Balti certainly is Birmingham's finest and is a cultural icon. I cooked the chilli and pepper for around 3 to 4 minutes on that high heat. And now I'm adding in the garlic and the ginger. They're going to get cooked for around 30 seconds or so. The pan's getting a bit dry now, which means that it's curry paste time. And we're still on a high heat here, so we have to move quick and mix that in a bit before adding a standard-sized tin of chopped tomatoes. And I'm still cooking on this high heat and stirring well, so, you know, it doesn't spit everywhere. And we're almost done now, but ideally we want to drop the heat to low and continue simmering the Balti for at least half an hour, although an hour is better. I'm just going to add a little bit of seasoning first with a teaspoon of salt and around 1/3 of a teaspoon of pepper. I did also add a tablespoon of lemon juice, which isn't shown here because I'd turned the camera off and forgot to turn it back on. But rest assured that it definitely did happen. I'm glad I turned the camera back on before I put the rest of the chicken in the mix because you wouldn't want to miss that, would you? And after at least half an hour's simmering, I'm adding a large knob of butter. And I have been very circumspect with my butter here, but you can put as much butter in as you like. or a mix of butter and liquid oil. As the Balti cooks, it will dry out, and you can see how it's thickening up there, and those flavours are intensifying all the time. And this is a good time to take a taste test and adjust the seasoning to your preference. And if you find the curry getting too dry, have a little bit of stock or water on standby to thin it out a little as it simmers before the final flourish, which is a light sprinkle of garam masala powder and some fresh herbs. And I'm afraid I have to use parsley here because fresh coriander tastes like soap to me, but don't let it stop you from adding it if you don't have the OR6A2 gene variant like me. Pair this delicious curry with my paratha flatbread for a meal that's as good as any takeaway. Link at the top of your screen and in the description for these paratha. And yes, you did see me put rice on my bread as well, combining my carbohydrates like a good Englishman. See you next time, eh? Ta